Hello and welcome back to the Coach Carter College Hoops 2K Legacy. Picking up right where we left off, our UT Martin Skyhawks are in our preseason tournament where the first game has already taken place. Buffalo defeated the Longwood Lancers 71-55. If we can somehow upset these Huskies, we will be facing the Buffalo Bulls. If not, we will be playing the Longwood Lancers. Here we go down to the Harry A. Gamble Pavilion. Both teams, of course, 0-0, and our Skyhawks are double-digit underdogs in this one, so might be tough sledding for a little while here. As we talked about in the last episode, these Huskies play a brand of basketball that, might be better fitted in the 1990s. These guys, they play tough defense, they press full court, and they are full of speed. They have a lot of athletes on this team. UT Martin Skyhawks in Navy. College basketball. Here's the highlights from the game as the Connecticut Huskies begin. Guard Jamal Lockett out on the break. Here's a bounce pass to Manny Valencia, the athletic wing from New York. He gets this game underway with a thunderous dunk. Here's A.J. Sullivan in the post, who cannot finish but corrals his own rebound, puts it back in, and our UT Martin Skyhawks answer right back with an and one. David Giles on the perimeter, gives it into Sullivan, swings it over to Shaquille Hammond on the low block, and that's good. 5-4 here early. We're going to have to get easy baskets if we're going to stay competitive with these guys. Trying to fit it in is D. Cartwright into the post, but that is unsuccessful, and a beautiful pass inside to Jamal Lockett. Nate Shields Jr. on the assist. But coming right back at full speed, the Navy team, but David Giles a little bit out of control as he turns it over, and another thunderous dunk from Manny Valencia. Nate Shields with back-to-back assists there, increasing the lead a little bit. It was at 5 at this point until David Giles cuts it to a one-possession game, 10-7, and there's a forced turnover right there. Great job with the press, and that basically was a big calling card in this game. Both teams really struggled to control the ball, as a beautiful lob from half court, as that's Manny Valencia's third dunk already. I was saying this was just a very sloppy game overall. Both teams missed a lot of shots, turned the ball over frequently. You'll most likely see a little bit of that in these highlights. A missed shot, long rebound by the Skyhawks, and now here's UConn 3-on-1, and guess who's slamming that one down? Yes, Manny Valencia. Now here's the center, Bob Crowell, getting on the board for the first time. The lead ballooned up to 9 at this point. But here's Davion Baez, who they just leave wide open. That's a big shot to keep us in the game early. Davion Baez, a very capable shooter. I'm still scratching my head about that one. I'm not sure why he was left open in that area on the floor. Now here is Saunders from 3. Back-to-back threes to keep our Skyhawks in the game. Rashad Palmer on the outside gives it to Nate Shields, who was quiet in the first half. That was only his third bucket at that point. Now here's Easley trying to break the 20-point threshold for the Skyhawks, who loses the ball, but he regains possession, tries to finish, but cannot in traffic. Crowell with the rebound, and at the end of the first half, Connecticut Huskies led our UT Martin Skyhawks 28-19, a very low-scoring game, of course. Our Skyhawks shooting an epic 22% from the floor at this point. And even the Connecticut Huskies, even though they were shooting 58%, they did have 7 turnovers at the half. Very sloppy game. Maybe it just being Connecticut's first game of the season. Maybe, maybe they just thought they'd roll in here and get an easy win. Maybe a combination of the both, but it is a single-digit game coming out of the half, as Gene Schofield, the lefty, gets the Skyhawks on the board. That's the first basket of the second half for either team. Valencia with a beautiful dish inside to Rowell. Now here's Dwight Easley trying his luck from 3. That is no good. 2-on-1, Connecticut. And that's just a beautiful slam right there. Easley gets put on a poster by Ryan Booker. Now here's Shields from mid-range. He's starting to pick it up now. And not only him, but the Connecticut Huskies as a whole, as they increased the lead to 14, but Our Skyhawks are not out of it just yet as Shaquille Hammond brings the ball right back up, dishes it off, cuts the lead to 12. D. Cartwright tries to pull up 3. That cannot go, but now fast break for the Huskies as Danny Valencia can not only slam it down on us, but he can also put a little style on it in the layup department as well as he converts that acrobatic layup. The kick out to Joey Ballard, who knocks down the triple, which is very surprising. Doesn't really have three-point range, but he showcased it today as he hit another one later in the game. But wow, that is a thunderous jam. Again, Ryan Booker. This time it's on his matchup, AJ Sullivan. Sullivan did not exactly have the best preseason tournament. Nate Shields inside to, that is Rowell, the power forward, finishing. Chad Rowell with his second basket of the game at that point. Now here's Nate Shields on the left corner who tries to drive, but Shaquille Hammond with the help side block. Now here comes D. Cartwright who crosses it over, double cross, kicks it out to Joey Ballard. Here's his second 3 from the top of the key. Now it's a 15-point game. Reversing it around, David Giles from 3. That's back-to-back 3s once again. UT Martin really trying, they're just trying their best to stay in the game, and it looks like the 3s really need to go in if they want to have any chance of at least competing with these guys. An inside basket, nice dish. Getting the friendly roll is Shields again, who was 60% from the field at this point. Easily getting pressured up top by a big man, but he crosses over in a fancy little behind the back move as he collects, gives it to Giles, who knocks down the mid-range. Very fancy little play right there by the freshman point guard. Now here is Manny Valencia, not the baseball player, as he converts the layup. He's still perfect from the field, but coming right back at him. A very fast-paced game here in the second half, a complete 180 from the first half. The first half was long and sluggish, slow possessions. This time, in the second half, the pace has really picked up as Nate Shields hits another basket, this time with a foot on the line. He's got 14 at this point. D. Cartwright surveying the floor. He's at the controls, tries to drive, and he gets fouled. Paul Hampton will record his first personal in the game. Now here is Jamal Lockett driving, finishing through contact that probably should have been an and one, as that is his first basket of the second half. Now, coming right back at the Huskies, Shaquille Hammond. I'm surprised he didn't pop that. He probably should have as he turns it right back over. Jamal Lockett, I just talked about him being quiet here a little bit here in the second half, but he converts 2 baskets back to back. Now here's Shaquille Hammond off of a pass through the post as that's cutting lead now down to 9. Now we are inside 2 minutes as a beautiful pass inside to Jamal Lockett, who converts another layup, and that'll probably seal the game at this point. That simply the double digits, and that's kind of how the game ended. It was just more of the same in the last few minutes. We do take the L 68-58, but I'm sure Coach Carter is very excited and happy about how his team competed with these Connecticut Huskies, as we were heavily doubted in this one coming into the game. Huge underdogs. Connecticut was heavily favored in this game, of course. So a double-digit loss was pretty much what we were expecting. Our leading scorer was Shaquille Hammond, who put up 15-5, put up a block as well. 7 of 13 from the field. Now, we are heading into our second game of the tournament. Here are the Longwood Lancers. We might actually be favorites in this game. Not only do we match up, but we seem to have the better team on paper. Leading their team are Stephon Marshall, who had 15 points and 5 assists with 3 steals against the Buffalo Bulls. Their 6th man, a small forward, Roy Okwandu, also had another impressive game. He put up 11 and 5, and their best player, D'Angelo Sears, had a struggling game from the field, 1 of 8 against the Bulls. He also had 3 points, but he put up 4 steals, so seems like a decent, defensive team. But here we go. Down 2-0 early as D. Cartwright misses the contested mid-range jump shot, but a nice little tip-in from Shaquille Hammond as he gets our Skyhawks on the board, and a beautiful spin move. D. Cartwright gets to the basket and finishes, and he pokes the ball loose, gives it off to Shaquille Hammond, who gets his shot rejected. 4-2, and here is David Giles with, this move you're going to see on the ESPN highlights tonight, most likely. A beautiful hesitation move, leaving Bernie Benzel, the center of the Longwood Lancers, on the floor, just leaving him behind, crumbling in the dust. And it seemed like everything was going right at this point. Shaquille Hammond with a drop step finishes with the left hand. But it's Dre Sweetney from the baseline, who doesn't really have a mid-range game, but showcases that he can hit it when he needs to. 8-4 here early, 11 minutes to go in the half. Shaquille Hammond tries to drive baseline, and that one's ripped away from him. And here comes the point guard, D'Angelo Sears, who puts the ball in the basket. 8-6 here, and another turnover, back-to-back turnovers by Hammond, who, I'm just going to be frank here, did not have a fun time in this game. And there's a three-pointer from Sears, but believe me, once you see the box score, you'll see what I mean at the end of the game. D. Cartwright gets a screen from Sullivan, and that's his patented elbow jump shot. D. Cartwright loves to shoot from there, as Floyd Zubek with a nice little turnaround in traffic. He does make good on those opportunities more often than not. Dwight Easley, he gets the bucket to fall, tying up the game at 16. A very similar first half to the last one. This is not a very high-scoring game. Some missed shots, some sloppy play. As Royal Kwandu capitalizes on the layup as a dish inside. This goes to Stephon Marshall. Floyd Zubek kicks it out to Davion Baez in traffic, who hits the three. We started to fall behind a little bit here, as the lead is now up to 5 for the Lancers, as that is a beautiful contested layup by Stauber. During the break here, Longwood just, trying to do what they do to get easy baskets, as Dwight Easley puts the ball in the basket from three-point, and he also gets a steal here. So now his totals ballooned up to 7 points for him on the day. Here's Felix Shields trying to drive. Cannot finish, but Bernie Benzel cleans up the glass and puts it in. If you think this offensive rebounding is bad now, well, just wait till the second half, because that was one of the main themes of our game, as in the last minute of the half, these Longwood Lancers put up a 5-0 run on us, increasing the lead from 4 points to 9 points heading into the half. Coach Carter not happy at all with the amount of effort being given right now on the floor. We're struggling on the glass, both offensively and defensively, and it seems like every time we can force a miss, somebody like Bernie Benzel, can just clean up the glass, and it's just not a good look. And I spoke too soon right there. Bernie Benzel again. Here's running a set. Blair Renfro for his first minutes of the season, right off the bench. He puts in a three-point attempt, and I told you that's really all his game consists of, but that's all we really need him to do. There's Shaquille Hammond from mid-range getting one to fall. Good defense on the ball by Dwight Easley, stopping the drive, but his matchup dishes it into Benzel, who finishes with the layup. And now Felix Shields crossing over. Shaquille Hammond cannot stay in front, and thus pays the price by getting put on a poster. Hammond, along with a few of his teammates as well. D'Angelo Sears tried the triple, that was unsuccessful, and D. Cartwright cherry picking a little bit right there, leaking out, trying to do whatever he can to keep the Skyhawks in the game, but that's a tough task right now. Is one, we're not playing as a team, as Joey Ballard corrals the rebound and puts it in. We're not playing as a team. Our effort is really more to be desired, as we're leaving guys open from mid-range. Dre Sweetney right there again. Gene Schofield is just sagging off of him. The effort is really not there right now, which is very unfortunate, because this is a very winnable game. But it seems like the whole team, whenever the lead started to swell a little bit, they just started to give up. As a nice pass right there from Hammond, one of the few bright spots from Hammond today, as David Giles makes good on the mid-range like he normally does. Here comes Stephon Marshall, gives it into Bernie Benzel, dishes it down low, cannot finish, but of course, another offensive rebound for the Longwood Lancers, as Davion Baez with the 3. That's no good, but Floyd Zubek, one of the few players that has actually shown some fight today, he puts it in. And of course, Shaquille Hammond gets subbed out after this and does not come back in the game. Fouling a jump shooter, just lazy defense, not hustling. That sums up his whole game right there, just fouling a jump shooter. That's one of the golden rules in basketball you never do. Marcus Saunders, also another guy who had struggles from the field today. Slashes and puts the ball in the basket with a beautiful layup right there, though. J.D. Stewart. We finally force a miss, but there's nobody on the glass as Stewart corrals his rebound. Puts it in. More of the same until the game ended. Looks like our final score is going to be 73-53. Just honestly a very pathetic game. This was one we were going to have to forget immediately. Coach Carter very upset about our shooting, about our rebounding, and definitely about our effort on defense. Dwight Easley, one of the few guys to show some fight, put up 11 and had a nice little spark for us, but Shaquille Hammond, you saw his stat line, 7 turnovers on 3 of 13 shooting. One of the worst games he's probably played in his whole life, to be honest, but it's a shame too, because our go-to player became our Achilles heel. But we look towards our next game against the Belmont Bruins as they make the 2.5 to 3 hour drive from their campus over to ours for our first home game. After dropping 3 straight games to start the year, they have now won back-to-back, and they were victorious against our rival in the Ohio Valley Conference, Samford. They're led by their power forward, Melvin Wainwright, who averages 11 on the season so far, with a decent supporting cast with guys like Ulrich Knight, Cedric Greenville, Clint Singleton. They play a similar basketball of us, so it should be a fun game to watch. It's going to be tough, though. They're one of the better mid-major schools in the country. Stay tuned for our first home game of the season as we try to record our first win of the season. Thanks for watching.